in June. We have a public hearing tonight before we have our regular planning board meeting. So we'll start off that way. The hearing is an opportunity for the developer to come and present their project. It's a mandatory thing. And it's also an opportunity for the public to come, ask questions, voice concerns, find out what's going on. Notices go out to all the abutters. Carly, that was done? Yep, so that was done. So no decisions about the application are made during the hearing. It's really just an informational session. So we urge the public to ask questions. Board members can too, but we do it again during the application review, so it all depends on how much time we want to take for the hearing before we close the hearing and open up the planning board meeting. Is there anyone in the audience who's here for the public hearing for Maine Gravel and Steel and State Road? There is not.
I think everyone, all the concerns might have been addressed at the select board meeting.
Yeah, so then I guess we make a decision. So a little bit of background. At the last meeting of the planning board, there were concerns about the water level across the street from State Road. And so I went to the selectmen based on the board's decision to ask the selectmen to talk to the DOT to see if they could investigate any way to rectify the waters on the south side of State Road, which historically are higher than they were before because of the culvert that's in the road now. And the selectmen crafted a letter, or the administrator crafted a letter based on the selectmen's direction and sent that to the state. The state and the select board and a couple of the planning board members and I believe the applicant and a bunch of people last Wednesday met to hash it out. I was out of town, out of state, could not attend. But Gabe here told me that it was productive and that what came out of it, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the state is, has said that the new culvert was put on top of the old one, which would be higher than what it originally was, and they're going to look into talking to the gas company and the water company, because the utilities run along the road, and to see how they can work together to get that culvert lowered, replaced, and then the ditching afterwards that heads north towards the wetland dredged out, correct? Is that close?
Mm-hmm.
So it seems that that issue has been addressed as much as it can be from this board's perspective, and I think even the town's perspective. Is that right?
Not at the meeting.
You weren't either, okay.
Just a quick sum, there was a previous culvert, and when they went to replace it, they went to pull out that culvert, and when they went to do that, they were notified that there was a high pressure gas line underneath and they couldn't touch it, so because of time constraints, they just put it right on top, which is about 18 inches higher, I believe, plus whatever substrate was in between. So they did that, which is what they're saying is attributing to all of the water that's there. So the plan is to go to the gas company and the water company so that they can do what they need to do, so that they can then extract the culvert and put in a new one, and then redo all the terrain work that needs to be done.
It's excellent news.
Sorry?
Excellent news.
It was a lot, I was pleasantly surprised because I know with the DOT it's a tough thing with their budgets and what they're doing. So don't know, they didn't say when, right?
Probably.
They're just working on it, but
They said it's gonna be 18 months.
It's probably more maintenance stuff. Well, they'll have to, the thing that'll take time is getting the utilities to move the gas and
Right.
the water lines before they can move the culvert then.
But they estimated 18 months at the meeting.
18 months to have for the culvert to be moved, yeah. Like she said, the utilities are under easement, so the DOT does have the authority to tell them to move
But
it.
it takes time to get them to
Absolutely.
move it, yeah.
right. Mr. Crooker, you had a comment?
Well, I'd like to add something to it, but I want to give a little history of that culvert. I know now is a good time, Dan, to do it, or during our.
Sounds like we may not need to, Ted, unless the board
Yeah.
needs to.
No, I'd like to add a little more.
but maybe we can wait till the detailed discussion during the, well, it's up to the board, I guess, not up to me.
Yeah, well, I guess what I was getting to is if there's, now that that's been put out there, and that it seems that there's no one in the public who is concerned and wanted the hearing, for time's sake, do we close the hearing? Do you guys wanna still have the hearing when there's no one here that was concerned about it? I mean, we're concerned about it, but we'll do that we'll have our question and answer during the application process.
I think we should complete the public hearing, the process, and, just because we did have it scheduled, so that,
Somebody wants to
It is
speak,
done.
Ted wants to speak, so.
Okay,
yeah.
This is important.
so,
Well, I was gonna do it during our thing, but I think now is more appropriate, because it's all
yeah, we are in the hearing, we're not doing the hearing, we're doing the hearing right now. My question is, do we wanna close it out now, or do we wanna have them present theirs
I think we have to hear
again?
any comments
I
from
could
the
do it
public.
during the open
Yes.
presentation if you want.
Correct, we do have to hear comments. Does anyone in the gallery and the public have comments that they wanna make during the hearing for main gravel?
Outside of my comments that I came prepared with, I do wanna say one thing. The two abutters that are around that bog is primarily the, Mr. Pelletier, is it?
Paquette?
Parquet, excuse me, Parquet. And I believe it is Steve Reno, the only two abutters, if it was to go another route. And it was brought up at that meeting, not by me, but by Steve Reno, and I think it's a great idea. I'm a little bit of an engineer, not a full-fledged one, but my business, I know things. But if they took the water and they took it in an opposite direction, it wouldn't take much ledge to blow up. It's just a small hummock, and the water would go that way. And rather than drop it, I would say it's more like 2 feet. I think you're right 100% between they put on a plastic pipe, smoothbore, and that's got about a 3-inch thing around it. And then it was a steel culvert there, that's probably 2 or 3 inches. So really, between the 18-inch culvert and the two diameters, outside diameters of each of those pipes, you're talking 24 inches. And I think it came up 24 inches now. I had in my packet here that on May 12th, I went to see the MDOT because this was holding up my project. So I went to Scarborough, to the office, and dug up a guy named Mr. Travis Moore. And I wanted him to specify that culvert, which I was concerned because there's so many dead trees around there. I says, that's pretty strange. I never saw it until 2016. And I says, was that culvert put in to say? And he gave me a letter saying it was. That's why I was so shocked when MDOT came here 10 days ago and said that they put it on top of the other one. When I went specifically up there to say, did you go back and put that culvert in the same invert as it was previously?
Right.
So I just wanted to add that to the conversation, and I would like to give a little back history, but I could probably give that on when we do our presentation. And also, I went out tonight and I took my level and I checked FW Web. That culvert that's plugged at FW Web, which is the lower one, it's about, if you were to replace that right now, the water that's there right now would be about 3 inches below it. So I was told that if that water was unplugged, it would go from there up into Webb's, well, it will not. And I knew that, but I didn't know until tonight, so I took a level out there, and I was with Mike, the manager of FW Web there, and we came out and we shot it, and it's plugged up for other reasons. It has nothing to do with the wetlands or the water. Just
Okay.
want to add that to the statement.
Sounds good. All right, anyone else? Any questions from the planning board? Comments? No? All right, then I move we close the hearing.
Second.
And second, any further discussion? All those in favor of closing the hearing for main gravel services? All right, the hearing is now closed.